omnipresent Divine Father, fellow pilgrims on the path, Ravi, thank you for that kind and affectionate introduction. I didn't deserve that. First of all, I offer my humblest pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan and loving Sairam to all of you. So, the title chosen for the talk was In Eternal Gratitude of Sai. So, where can I begin and where can I end? All our lives have been gifted by Bhagwan. But if we want to be thankful to Bhagwan, the great Shankaracharya has given us a clue. He said, even if you are not grateful for anything else, at least 3 things you should be grateful for the Lord. Manushyatvam, human birth. Mumukshatvam, the desire for liberation. And Mahapurusha Samsraya, the protective grace of the Guru or the Lord. Having read the Bhagavatam and Swami's Bhagavata Vahini, as Vyasa says, God, Bhagwan, Bhakta and Bhagavatam are one and the same. They are equally sacred. As Swami would say, Bhaktudu lekapothe Bhagavantude ledu, Bhagavantude lede Bhaktude ledu. If there are no devotees, there is no God. If there is no God, there are no devotees. So I would like to humbly venture to add to great Adi Shankaracharya's 3 boons, a 4th boon today. That is Manushyatvam, human birth, Mumukshatvam, desire for liberation, and Mahapurusha Samsraya, protective grace of the Guru. And the 4th one I would like to add is Bhakta Jana Satsanga, the holy company of the devotees of the Lord. Actually, in this context, I want to tell you, in February 3rd week, when Ravi contacted me, and he said, please, you should talk for the Mahasamadhi Aradhana program. I said, go ahead, arrange a Zoom session. He said, no Zoom session, you are coming in person here. I said, I have not traveled for the last 2 weeks, I have not thought about it. And Ravi said, no, there's nothing like a personal visit, I want you to come. Then I told Ravi, can you give me 2 days? Then my wife asked me, Uma, then who called you? I said, Ravi called, and then he wants me to speak at the center. She said, go there, go for it. And I said, there is a problem, because he wants me to come there personally. Then she said, okay, go ahead. But I said, it's not 24th, it's 23rd, and 23rd happens to be her birthday. And I said, you know, I have never been away from your birthday, but now she stopped me. He said, my birthday is not important when it comes to Sai Satsang. You don't have to be here, go there. So, it is with her permission and blessings and Ravi's insistence, I am here to enjoy the 4th boon of Bhakta Jana Satsangam with all of you. Receiving gifts is one thing, but do we appreciate the gifts? Do we understand the gifts? Do we make use of the gifts? In this context, I am not qualified to advise anybody. I am not even qualified to ask this question to any of you. So, on this auspicious Aradhana day, Mahotsava day, I am going to ask myself the question openly at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. That, dear Bhagavan, you have given me these 4 boons. You have given me a human birth, at least semblance I look like a human being. You have given me this desire, a weak inkling of a desire for liberation. And then you have given me abundance of Mahapurusha samsara. Darshan, sparshan, sambhashan. And you have given me the company of your wonderful devotees. Have I really understood the value of these precious gifts? Have I appreciated that? Have I lived in my life to make use of those gifts? And then I have to honestly admit in His divine presence, as Naheshji made me pour the water, that Swami is here, so do it exactly as you would do in the presence of Swami. And the answer I have to give you is no. I have not appreciated enough this human birth. I have not cultivated the desire for liberation to the extent Swami would like me to. And I have not recognized who Swami is. Of course, it's impossible to understand who Swami is, but I have not even made every possible attempt to understand Him. And I have not given the utmost respect to His devotees. Like brother was telling, he didn't like Swami putting his hands like that. But Swami didn't have to put his hands like that. He was the devotee of his devotees. That was his character. That was his experience. And he was telling that on the 24th, 23rd there, 2011, how they felt. Of course, we were flying. So we had been with Swami from March 22nd to April 10th. And then when the situation, then we were told that we will keep you posted, go back. So we came back to California and then returned the next 2 days back to Prashanthalayam again. And on the 23rd, that day we were in Dubai airport. That's when I found out about the news. It was a shocking news, definitely. It was something impossible for me to take it, but Swami had been telling consistently, I am not this body. So I didn't understand. So I missed that form. So after the program was over, when we came back in May 1st, and then on the Ishvarama day, I was really feeling sad. For the first time, of course, Swami has been talking to me, giving me messages from a very, very young age. But first time in Telugu, he gave me a message that day. I want to share with you, which I've shared long ago before. Swami said, Prema Swarupulara, నేను ఎక్కడ పోలేదు, ఇక్కడే ఉన్నాను. మీరు వెంటనే జంటనే గంటనే వెంటనే హృదయ సాయిగా ఆనంద సాయిగా ఉన్నాను. That is, my dearest, I have not gone anywhere. I am only here. I am inside you, behind you, around you, above you. I am in the heart, inner resident of you. I am the source of joy within you. And Swami said, మా భక్తుల కోసం ఏమి చేయ తయారుగా ఉన్నాను. మా జీవనమే త్యాగం చేశాను. For the sake of devotees, I am willing to give anything. I have given up my own life for them. My blood, to food, to everything is for my devotees. This body, this health, this wealth, everything is the spiritual wealth, is everything for the devotees. And then Swami said, "Me pani me cheyandi, na pani nen chestanu." You do your duty, I will do my duty. Me pani emi, what is your duty? Samskar paropakar. Be a good human being, develop a good character. Help ever, hurt never. Ma pani emi, what is my duty? Chamatkar sakshatkar. I'll fill your life with miracles and I will grant liberation itself to you. So that was the assurance he gave, and he has been fulfilling that. So coming back to the question of, have I been grateful to Bhagavan enough for the gifts that he has given? I want to go through the 4 boons, and then I want to tell you how miserably I failed and how compassionately Bhagavan corrected me and taught me. And I hope you will find it useful in your own sadhana. Because every time I failed, Swami comforted me, corrected me, consoled me, and even punished me. But it was all out of his love, and it always resulted in inner joy and evolution. So when we look at life, we should consider life as a gift from God. Even the sufferings we go through and the difficulties faced are only for our good. First, let me take the first boon. Manushyatvam, the human birth. Swami would say, man, the modern man, is very proud. He has accomplished so much. He has explored the skies. He has dived deep into the ocean. He has covered the earth for the gems and the jewels. He has cured many diseases. In the process, he has created many diseases. And he seems to have control over the elements of nature. But certain things man does not know what to do. He does not know what to eat. He does not know what to eat, how to eat, when to eat, what not to eat. He does not know how to breathe. He does not know how to speak properly. He does not know how to sleep. He does not know how to live. He does not know how to love and how to live. Other than that, man knows everything. Of course, I'm addressing myself as I warned you before. So, for instance, this body is a precious gift. Deho Devalaya Proktam. This is the temple of God. And Idam Sharirartham Paropakaram. This body should be used only for the service of others. But we consume all kinds of food which becomes poison. Annam Brahma, Annam Aushadam. Food is God, food is medicine. See, according to Vedanta model, we have 5 koshas, the Annamaya, the food sheath, Pranamaya, the vital air sheath, Manomaya, the mind sheath, Vijnanamaya, the mental, intellectual sheath, and Anandamaya. But what I had done is I have condensed into 2. For me, it's Annamaya, Anandamaya. Directly goes from food to Ananda. Right? So, but this kind of attitude gets us into trouble. So I learned a very amazing lesson from Bhagavan in this context. I want to share with you. And in 1986, we were planning a trip to go to India. And I'm fond of fried food, murukus and namkeens and potato chips. So I started eating them. I put on some weight and I had a little tummy. So my wife, my brother warned me, be careful, you are eating too much. Swami is going to take you to task. See, this is our tendency in life, at least mine. When somebody points out something wrong we are doing, instead of being grateful that they took the time to find out what we are doing wrong, we will defend ourselves. I know none of you do that, I do it. This is instinctive. Actually, the entire world is helping us, pointing out everything we do wrong, and we should be doing worship to everybody by telling that. Because it's so difficult to by ourselves find out everything we do wrong. And I do plenty. So when they said that, I said, Swami doesn't look at the stomach, he looks at the heart. And I thought that was a very wise saying I came up with to shut them up. I live to regret that statement. So we went to Prashanthanaraya. And the relationship with Swami is unique. See, every time you go to Swami, when Swami talks to anybody, whether physically, whether in the dream, whether spiritually, it's 1 to 1. 100% attention. So when he talks to us, we will feel as if we are the only ones existing. A pure Advaita experience we will get right there. But as soon as our time is over, when Swami's attention focus, we won't even exist for him. Because that is his 100% focus. So, similarly, every trip you go to see Swami, it is like a reset button has been set. He may not even look at you, you don't even know, is this the same Swami who taught me so much? He doesn't even recognize me. And also every time, it's like an examination, evaluation, it's like a report card. Whether he will smile at me, he will look at me, it's not the question of what mistake, which among my mistakes that he is upset about. So this time when I went, first 3 darshans, he didn't even look at me. So I know something was wrong, and I had a vague suspicion the statement I made I should not have made. And you know something about fat? It is easy to put on and it's extraordinarily difficult to get it off. So within the 5 days, no matter how much I fasted, nothing worked. Similarly, Vishaya Vasanas, attachment to the world, is very, very difficult to overcome. Very easy to get attached to things. Very easy to fall victim to these things. So Swami was standing, fourth darshan, he was standing in the middle of the students. Then suddenly he looked at me and then he kind of talked loudly. He said, Shankar, what is wrong with you? You put on weight, you look 3 months pregnant. I was humiliated enough. When I went to the room, wife asked, I saw Swami talking to you, what did he tell you? How can I tell her what he told? But it was not over. Evening darshan, Swami came. He walked on the veranda where I was sitting. Then he looked at me, glanced at me, and then again very loudly said, Shankar is a lot worse than I thought. You are 6 months pregnant. Now I think Ravi and Rama will understand why I am afraid to eat. Because they were complaining I am not eating. I have been terrorized. Anyway, but it didn't end there. Next morning, darshan, next time Swami came, he called me inside for an interview. There were 2 other gentlemen. And I was about to sit in front of Swami. Said, don't sit, stand right there and then move around. I want to see you. So I modeled. It's a kind of a for the wrong reason. Swami said, chi, it is so bad, you're 9 months pregnant. So within 12 hours, I've gone from 3 to 6 to 9. As if that was not enough, Swami said, I can understand at least if you're tall. He said, short and fat is the worst combination. Totally humiliated. Then Swami said, come, kucho, sit. I sat in front of him. Then he was expecting a response from me. What can I tell him? What can I tell him? So I was upset with myself to have put myself in this situation. Then I said, Swami, I have no personality. I told him. And Swami pounced on me. Then he went into a barrage of abuse. He said, you are short, your mother is short, your grandfather is short, your entire family is short, your own God, Sri Sathya Sai Baba is short. I thought, where is this coming from? And then Swami said, look at myself, how magnificent I look, how effulgent I am, how beautiful I am. Then I meekly said, Swami, you are God. And then Swami slapped me. You are also God. See, this is the lesson Swami is trying to teach us all the time. You are God. And I don't know whether Ravi remembers, we were attending an SSC awareness program. In one session, he asked me a question about Trikarana Suddhi. Do you remember that? So he said, how is it possible to practice the oneness of thought, word and deed? And I was trying to give an answer to the best of my ability. And I was telling him that this oneness of thought, word and deed comes naturally to us. Because otherwise we won't be able to do anything. As soon as we think bad about somebody, we pick up the phone and gossip about that person. So thoughts and word are united. And then next time we see the person, we insult them. So it comes naturally. Then I was trying to tell, only when we have a good thought, we ignore it. And if we feel good about somebody's talent, we don't go and tell them. And if something good action to be done, we postpone it. So this is the answer I was giving him that day. But what I have not shared with him or anybody before, some force from inside, he will remember that day, if new answer came, then suddenly I was overruled by an inner voice which said, true Trikarana Shuddhi is, you have to think like God, speak like God, act like God, because you are God. I mean, this is the same message he was using the small thing about how we are careless about food. And that's exactly what Swami is teaching us all the time. We should not put ourselves down. We should not limit ourselves as this finite self. He said, always remember, I am the infinite. That's why the Aham Brahma. That's why Swami said, Nenu Bhagavantudu, nee kuda Bhagavantude. నాకు నేను భగవంతుడు ఉంటానంటూ తెలుసు నీకు తెలియలేదు నాకు నీకు అదే వ్యత్యాసం I am God, you are also God. I know I am God, but you don't know. That is the only difference between us. And he keeps emphasizing this over. See, we don't have to do big spiritual sadhana. Because it's all external, bahiranga, show. Recognize deep within that I am God, whatever it takes. That's why it doesn't matter what we do, it's how we do and with what attitude we do. For instance, I'll give you an example. See, if you go to India, Chennai, Bangalore, any of the cities, there are always some small shops famous for coffee or tea. Little shops, mom and pop shops, and you'll go and have coffee there. Of course, they will give coffee in a very cheap glass tumbler. You walk 100 feet away, there will be a restaurant. They will also give the coffee, but in a porcelain cup, while that wayside shop charges 20 rupees, here they will charge 80 rupees. And then you go 100 feet away, there will be a 5-star hotel and there will be a rooftop garden restaurant. They will serve the same coffee in a fancy china with decorated, and then they will charge 300 rupees. And they will all be using the same coffee powder, probably the same Amul milk. And the person's experience of coffee also same. What is difference is the ambience and the particular cup they are serving. The body is like the cup that's being served. The coffee is the Atma. It is the same in everyone. There is no difference. A sinner and a saint, a beggar and a king, and a person, an ignorant person, and a person with great wisdom, worldly wisdom. Atma is identical. That is the lesson. If we feel that way, will we ever ill-treat anybody? Will we ever get hurt from anybody? And that's the message Swami was trying to teach, but did I understand enough? I think enough just to give a speech about it, but like Swami says, you're all heroes in speeches, zeros in action. The answer is no. Swami taught this lesson, the same lesson in a different way to me. In Bombay, I was in a guest house serving Swami and his guests. One day Swami came in front of me, stood in front of me. Then Swami asked me a question, asked me about himself. He said, "How tall am I?" I kept quiet. Swami asked the question again, "How tall am I?" Then I said, "Swami, you must be 5 feet 5 inches." Swami said, "No, 5'3", but the hair looks 2 inches extra." Then he asked, "How tall are you?" I kept quiet. Then Swami was not satisfied, so he stood next to me, shoulder to shoulder. He said, "Same height." Then he said, "मुझे तुमसे बात करना अच्छा लगता है, ये सब लोग लंबू है, स्वामी ऊपर देखता पड़ता है." See, I feel good talking to you because I don't have to look up. All these other guys are so tall, they make Swami look up. I mean, there is deep significance in all his statements. Then Swami said, "Same height, but not same weight, you are going up and down." But Swami said, "I am always 108. Perfect." Then he took my hand and he said, "Same height, not same weight, but same Atma." This is the lesson that Swami has been teaching, and not only as the Sai Avatar, as every manifestation of God. As Sai devotees, if we understand that and live that, that is enough. We don't have to have fancy talents. We don't have to do these mega service projects. We don't have to keep advertising about ourselves. Just be who we are. Be simple. Understand that it is the same Atma. So, this is the purpose for which this human body was given. So, have I used it? Have I understood it? Answer is no. Well, past is past. Future is uncertain. At least now I want to pray to Swami, please guide me so that I understand the purpose of this birth, understand the purpose of this body. Now I want to go to the next boon that God has given. That is mumukshatva, this desire for liberation. The fact that we don't have peace, the fact that we are restless, the fact that we suffer is the sign that we have desire for liberation. So all of us are plenty gifted with desire for liberation, because we are always restless, we are always peaceless, we are always unhappy. So there is something we are missing. Tyagaraja, the great saint, tells about Rama, Sarasa Sama Dhana Beda Danda Chatura. Sati Daivam Evaru. Oh Rama, is there a God greater than you? But you know what? You have this knack, you have developed this quality, how to transform a devotee. See, it's like a process plant, like nuclear waste, there is a power plant to process it, or desalination of the seawater, or dechlorination of water. Everything goes through a process. We are all suffering from Ajnana Mala, the defect of ego, the ego waste. Everything we do, what we call accomplishments, resumes, and LinkedIn, there, it is all ego mala. Ego waste is being listed. My accomplishments, my accomplishments. For that, God has a process how to remove it. And what is that process? Sama, Dhana, Bheda, Danda. That is persuasion. See, He has come with a beautiful form. Why did God come? Because world is beautiful. We are attracted to it. So if He wants to turn our attention away from the world, He has to look more beautiful. So once that's why you see, will you go and see any other human being again and again for darshan like this? As we did for Swami. That is Adaram Maduram, Vadanam Maduram. Nayanam Maduram, Hasitam Maduram, Galitam Maduram, Hridayam Maduram, Maduradipate Maduram Maduram. Your face is sweet, your eyes are sweet, your lips are sweet, your walk is sweet, your heart is sweet. That's how God attracts us. That is Sama. Dhana means He gives us the gifts of joy. Like Swami, when Swami says, I'm looking for that ideal devotee from time immemorial, I have not found them yet. So as soon as a new devotee comes, he comes, looks, he gets very enthusiastic. Maybe at least this person. Because I see this raw, the mind. I can mine it, polish it. So like somebody used to say, when Swami calls Bangaru gold, we feel happy, but be careful, he's going to start melting you and transform you into gold. So He feels that, so He gives a lot of attention. So that at least we will transform. If that doesn't happen, Beda, He creates doubts and confusions, shakes our self-confidence. And then finally, He punishes Danda, subjugates us. If any of these techniques, but Swami knows how much to push. Like in the case of Arjuna and Krishna. When in the battlefield, Arjuna and Krishna were the greatest warriors of that time. The most majestic personalities of that time. The most accomplished. But Arjuna and Krishna were equals. Arjuna never realized how great Krishna was. He always thought he was a friend, a buddy, an equal. But when he was on the battlefield, when he said he has to face my grandfather, the Bhishma Pitamaha, the mighty warrior, and other than I have to kill, then he developed. He said, oh Krishna, I am confused. I don't know what is right and what is wrong. He said, Karpanya dosho bhagata swabha. I am confused. Prichami tvam dharma sarguracheta. I don't know what action to do. Then he says, Shadimam tva prishyaste aham. Shadimam tvam prabannam. Consider me as your disciple and guide me. As soon as Arjuna said, I surrender to you, guide me, Krishna's demeanor changed totally. Until then, Arjuna was his buddy. And then he starts scolding him. Krishna starts scolding him, Akirtikaram, Anaryojushtam, Asvargyam, Kasmalam, that it is not becoming of your lineage. You're not going to go heaven. You're going to lose your good name. You're totally confused. Arjuna was thought, I was my friend. He was treating me nicely. Because once you surrender to God, he has to get to work. See, it is all our destiny is to realize God. But God has given us free will, and we use that free will to delay it as long as possible. But the moment we surrender, he will get to work. So then Krishna said, what you are doing is wrong. You have not understood that you are not the body. Then that's when he knew that he is suffering from this serious virus. This virus is not like COVID-19, it's its predecessors or successors. This is million times worse. It is the Ajnana virus, virus of ignorance. And your vaccines that is available, that's not going to help with this. The most important vaccine is Atma Vidya. That's why he told him, you are not this body, you are the Atma, you will never die. Death is for the body. You are eternal, you are everlasting, you are ageless. So there is no death for this Atma, even if the body dies. That is the exact lesson Swami is telling, showing, he living that life. So give up this attachment to the body, develop this fearlessness that I am not this limited self, I am the infinite. So in this context, I want to share with you a couple of examples. Ravi, keep track of time and then stop me and then I'll die at that time. So Swami, one day, we went for a trip to see Swami, and that trip, for some reason, Swami came to me and talked to me every darshan, and every few darshans he'll give an interview. It was going on. And then people were asking. One man asked, Shankar, kya hota hai? Swami gadi baat karte hain, kya baat karte hain? So, what is going on? Why is Swami talking to you so much? What is really going on? Is kuch Upanishad ke baare mein bolte hain? Is he telling about the Upanishad? How can I tell him what really Swami is telling me? Because Swami's face is so beautiful, nobody can guess what he is talking. And unless he wills, you cannot hear, even if he's standing next to you. Every time he came, and even when he took me inside the interview in the private room, the only thing he was doing was he was scolding me. He was calling me dog, donkey, narda, shakuni. And he was saying so sweetly, and I didn't feel bad at all. I was happier and happier. Actually, Swami is telling, when somebody insults you, you'll be happy. You should be happy. Why do you fight? How? Do you know who I am? We just start jumping. We ourselves don't know who we are. They are asking other person, do you know who I am? This is our ignorance. So, he was doing that. Then the whole trip was over. Then on the plane back, I was reading Sai Satcharita. A devotee saw Shirdi Baba take a bag with gold coins. He went into the Lendi Bagh, that garden, and what Shirdi Baba used to do, he will take each coin, say a devotee's name, and then he will scold, Tu kutta hai, tu gada hai. I mean, you are a dog, you are a donkey, Tu jalja, you be burned. Tu marja, you die. Tu satyanash hosa. That means your entire thing be totally destroyed. So this devotee who saw Shirdi Baba doing got scared and ran away. what kind of madman I have come to worship is cursing his devotees. But then Abdullah Baba, a senior devotee, stopped him. You don't know what he is telling. He said, when you say tu kutta hai, you're a dog, like Swami himself used to say, boys come to me as street dogs, I will transform them into street lambs. So, what he was telling was, Shirdi Baba is telling you, don't be like a dog wandering here, become grateful, develop the quality of gratitude from a dog. Don't be lazy like a donkey, but develop the quality of forbearance from a donkey and work hard. And burn all your evil qualities. Tu jalja, tu marja, let your ego die. Tu satyanash ho ja means your entire sanchita karma I am removing. That was the blessing. That's when I realized what Swami was doing, that he is actually cranking us down. So everything that happens to us is a blessing. So this happened that time. But the next visit I came, then the experience is totally opposite. Swami came every time but didn't say one word. He talked to the person left, right, behind, and gave interviews to almost one or other person every time. So this time I became, last time people disliked me in the veranda, this time I became popular. Everybody, Shankar ji, aa jao mere saath bait, mere paas baito. Come, sit next to me. Swami will not talk to you, but he will talk to me and even gave me grant an interview. So I was in demand where to sit. And Swami fulfilled their promises. You'll come, you'll ignore. This is the churning process that God does to us. Then one senior devotee was there, then walking, he just patted me on the back. He said, Shankar, do you know what is going on? I said, yes, sir. Did you realize that Swami is ignoring you? I said, please tell me what the entire Prashantanilayam does not know. Yes, Swami ignores me, I know that. But he says, I'll tell you something you don't know. I am also observing Swami. He's standing next to you, looking and talking to this person, but his attention on you, how you are reacting. Are you getting jealous? Are you getting angry? Are you getting upset? This is pure love of God. See, that's why Swami, that is that mumukshutva, this desire for liberation. When God sees a potential, He comes to our rescue to help us. But we have to help Him help us. So, now I want to go to the third boon. And Swami as Mahapurusha Samsraya, His protective grace. Have I recognized that Swami, the avatar of the age, has come to help me? If I'm talking about he has come to help everybody, but have I really realized that he has taken that responsibility? Because when I first met him, he mentioned about the book, and when I read the Jnanavagni, first of all somebody told about Swami, about Krishna came again, I rejected, I told the story so many times. Then I read the book, I knew these are the words of my master. But then I did realize many years later, the late 80s, Swami called for an interview. And then Swami materialized a chocolate. It's one of the well-known brands in India. And then he said, I'm very happy today. So then Swami said, come. Then I was about, he says, no, you don't eat. Then he himself patiently opened it and fed it like a mother. Then Swami asked, you didn't ask me why I am happy, because Swami is always happy. Will you ask him why he is happy? So you didn't ask me why I am so happy here. Then I asked Swami, why are you happy? Then he said, I am happy because this is the 25th anniversary of the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organizations. Oh, then I said, Swami, congratulations. So I said, Chichi, why are you saying congratulations? This is not my organization. I have no form, I have no name, I have nothing to do with the organization. It is your organization. If you want, you congratulate yourself. Then Swami said, then we were quiet. Then Swami said, do you know something? Today is the 21st anniversary of something else that happened. I said, what is it, Swami? What happened? I didn't know. Then Swami came close and whispered, exactly the same day, 25 years ago, you came to me. I said, Swami, I am insignificant, and your organization is such a magnificent accomplishment. Why are you remembering the day I came to you? Then I thought, but Swami is not right. I came 22 years ago. Why is he saying 25 years ago? Then Swami said, hey, I came 3 years before that, what you are thinking. Because when my father was dying and I was going to fetch my grandmother, a prayer came into me with the name of Sai, which I didn't even know who Sai was, and Swami was pointing to me. I came to you that time. See, this is what Swami is. He remembers, he knows everything about us, but we don't understand who he is. When he says, I am in the inner, see, I used to take it very easy. Say, I am around you, behind you. I really didn't understand the significance. He is really telling the truth. He says, I am the inner resident of your heart. This is his experience. And he wants us to develop that experience. In fact, in this context, I'll tell you another example. In 1996, when we went to Kodaikanal, in 1992 itself when we went, something else happened that time. One day, Swami was, 92 we went to Kodaikanal, that time Swami was talking about Vishwamitra and how Vishwamitra was a king. He came to see Vasishta and he wanted to possess that cow which had that tremendous heavenly gifts. So he wanted him to give it to him. But Vasishta said, if the cow comes, you can take it, Kamadhenu. But Vishwamitra could not take it. So Vishwamitra got upset and he did tapas to become like Vasishta. That time, so then when he did hundreds of years of tapa, Brahma, he wanted to be called the Brahma Rishi. But then Brahma called him Raja Rishi. Raja Rishi means he had still some ego, rajas in him. So Vishwamitra felt hurt. That time there was a king Trishanku who he wanted to go to heaven in his physical form. So when he went to Vasishta, Vasishta said, you cannot go to heaven in your physical form. That is a subtle universe. There is a causal universe. You can only go in that form. You cannot take the physical form. See, that's why humans, we have built these pyramids, we have built these mausoleums, thinking that we are going to live as this physical body forever. So, when Vasishta said no, Trishanku went to Vishwamitra, and then he told him the magic word. I asked Vasishta to send me to heaven with his physical form. He said no. Then Vishwamitra said, Vasishta said no, I will say yes. So I will send you to the heaven. He used all his power, sent him to the heaven. They pushed him down. Vishwamitra was holding him. So Trishanku was in the middle. He said, so Swami told the story. And then after we were going to lunch, the Vice Chancellor of the Institute of Higher Learning came. And then when we were going inside, Swami stopped us, I and my brother. Then he said, do you know the Vice Chancellor? I said, I know him, Swami. Then he asked the Vice Chancellor, do you know them? He said, yes, Swami. No, I am going to introduce them to you anyway. He said, this is Shankar Trishanku, this is Sunil Trishanku. And all the boys laughed because just now Swami told how bad Trishanku is. He wanted to take his physical form to heaven. But the point is, then Swami said something very important. He said, these boys for America, they are neither Indians nor Americans. They are Trishankus in the middle. So I myself have decided to guide them. In fact, very first interview, Swami said, there is nobody in your family to guide you. I myself have. See, what a great fortune for God to tell. But did I understand the significance of? When God says, I myself have come. But the truth is, He Himself is guiding everyone as the inner voice, as a conscience. If we refine it, we'll hear it more. That's the whole essence of Antarvani. God is guiding us, but do we recognize this at all? In fact, another time, Swami said, in order to bring me down the Samadana Veda Danda, Swami asked me, I said, Shankar, I want to ask you a question, but you have to give an honest answer. I said, yes, Swami. Swami said about himself, I know everything, I act as if I know nothing. And then Swami said, you know nothing, but you act as if you know everything. He said, how do you do it? Of course, what answer can I get? And also, Swami used to discuss philosophy and used to call me Juta Vedantin. Juta Vedantin means false, we're just talking philosophy, not living it. So when there was a group of people in the interview, then we were sitting. Swami talked to me, Swami, please give us some discourse. Swami says, I have no mood to talk today. Then he said, Shankar, do you want to talk? I said, no, Swami. No, he doesn't want to talk. I am also not going to talk. He said, why you don't want to talk? He asked me. I said, Swami, I don't talk in your presence. Because I remember what he said. I pretend to know everything. I don't want to expose myself to Swami in front of him. Then Swami said, whoa, you don't talk in my presence. But I am omnipresent, I am everywhere. Of course, I got a message. If you really believe God is everywhere, I should not talk at all, I should be silent. Of course, people like Ravi put me into trouble. Right, I have to talk here. But truly, I should not talk because He is omnipresent. So, but Swami was trying to teach us the lesson. But I have not really understood. Another thing Swami one day said, then he said, Shankar, I want to ask you something. There are millions of people want to spend a few minutes with me. One glance, they will give up everything and come to me. They will give up their wealth. They will give up this. But it looks like I am coming after you and you are not interested in me. What is wrong with you? He asked me. I said, Swami, we have seen so many people come physically near to you and very soon they leave. We don't want to be like that, be near to you and leave you. We want to be dear to you. Then Swami said, why not be near and dear? What is wrong? But then Swami himself asked, for that you have to have no fear. You have to get rid of your ego. If you have ego, you will neither be near to God, nor will be dear to God. So 96, when we went to Kodaikanal, we went for a short trip, so we were staying outside in a hotel. This time not with Swami. Then we used to go and then join the activities. One day we decided to walk instead of using a taxi. So we walked and there was some tremendous monsoon downpour. So we all got wet and then the Indian taxis went so fast and we got a mud bath also. So we had to go back to the hotel, change ourselves, come back. By the time we come back, Swami had come, the whole program was started. I had no place to sit, so I squeezed myself in a corner, not the normal entrance, there's a side entrance. In a little corner near the door, I found a space to sit. That day Swami was giving a discourse. He said, do not wish to be a servant of God. Wish to be a friend of God. He said, if you, in your house, if somebody stranger comes, you invite them in the living room, you will say hi, bye and send them. Of course, your relatives, you may not want them to come, but they will come and go everywhere. But if a friend comes, he has freedom to go anywhere. So if you become a friend of God, then you have access to everything He has. So you should be Patha friend, old time friend of God. Then he sat there after the discourse was over. And then Swami turned, he looked, then he saw me sitting in a corner. Then he came straight, and then the students opened up like a Red Sea. He came, and then there was, IG, Inspector General of the old Chennai state was sitting there. And then when Swami came near me, he was holding his hand and I was doing. Swami then whispered, "No, give me a high five," he said. So I gave him a high five, first and the last ever, to Swami. And then Swami turned to the person and said, "A Patha friend, it's an old time friend of mine." See, God is willing to be our friend. Are we willing to be God's friend? Like many times Swami used to say, "Janam janam mein saath rakho." Oh God, let me be born with you, birth after birth. Maybe some of you sing those bhajans. But Swami says, when you sing that song, I laugh to myself. I am here now, you're sitting in front of me, your attention is somewhere. Even now you cannot focus on me, you're asking about janam janam. I have to pray you, shanam shanam mein saath rakho. So, have I really appreciated the gift of Bhagavan's omniscience, omnipresence, omnipotence? The answer is no. So now I am coming to the last part of the boon that God has given us, is Bhakta Jana Satsanga, the holy company. See, each one is a unique flower in the Sai garden. Each one of us is a precious gift given to us. Each family member is a precious gift. Each Sai devotee, each acquaintance, each human being is a very, very precious gift. Do we treat each other kindly? Do we love each other? Because if we don't understand, we have not understood Swami's message at all. In fact, Swami used to put me in touch with so many people that I once complained, "Swami, I myself have multiple personality syndrome. I'm confused. Then you're putting me with so many people. I don't need this." Swami said, "It is your own fault. You are praying for Advaita experience." What is Advaita experience? Advaita experience is not sitting inside a dark room and meditating, chanting, "Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi." That is all just intellectual. Advaita experience is to know that I am the one who comes in your life. I am the one interacting with you. I am the one showering praise on you. I am the one that is criticizing you. I am the one that is humiliating you. Can you recognize me in everyone? Then you will understand what is Sai's message of Advaita. It is not Brahma Satyam Jagat Nityam. It's Brahma Satyam Jagat Premam. You don't say the world is unreal. Supreme consciousness is only reality. Supreme consciousness is the reality and its manifestation is the world, which is meant for you to express your love towards it and receive love from that. And that's what, and have I really understood that? The answer is no. And then once Swami said, one day he said, "I'm going to turn off your effort on spiritual sadhana. Without my will, you cannot progress. Having come to me, you don't need to do anything. There's only one thing you need to do." He said, "I have given you so much love, unasked, undeserved. The only thing you do is, whomever you meet, share that love without bias, without discrimination, without any selfish thought. Share my love with everybody. That is your only sadhana." So have I done that? I may think I have done that, I'm doing it, but honestly, no. So before I end, I want to share with you one more story. A few years ago, I was reading some anecdotes about Ramana Maharshi. This was a few months before Ramana Maharshi attained Mahasamadhi. A father and his daughter from a village in Andhra Pradesh have come to see the Ramana Maharshi. So, even though he has gotten that disease and it is becoming worse, he insisted on giving darshan. He was seated in that hall, and some Vedic Pandits were chanting some mantras, shlokams, and one particular thing they keep repeating it. So, one thing. So, this girl has no knowledge of Sanskrit. So, the father and this village people, they sat, and the girl listened to the shloka. She wanted to repeat the Sanskrit. She doesn't know Sanskrit. So, she picked one word from each line. 4 words. She started repeating it. So Ramana Maharshi, who never talks, usually quiet, he suddenly looked at the girl. He said, this girl has understood the essence of the shlokam, that mantra that Pandits are teaching, which they themselves have not understood. Everybody was shocked. And then it was time for lunch, so the Maharshi got up and was walking. The girl followed him. The Maharishi turned and told her, child, soon I am going to go to my father. He showed the Arunachala mountain. So you go to your father, go back to your village. So she agreed. So the father and the girl went back. The father was illiterate, so after some time he asked someone else to write a letter and then present it to Ramana Maharshi. And the letter came. The contents of the letter was, the father says, my daughter kept saying those 4 words again and again and again continuously in the trip, in the train, back to the village, and even at home, looking at the picture of Ramana Maharshi. She never ate anything, she never drank any water, kept saying the 4 words, and she merged in it. So when I read this story, I was so inspired by this girl's devotion. That night, I had a dream. Of course, there was nobody in the dream. I heard Swami, in Swami's voice, singing a bhajan. Swami has composed a bhajan and he sings that in the raga Ahir Bhairav. There's Pibare Ramarasam, this famous Sadashiva Brahmendra bhajan. Same raga he's singing. And the first line of the bhajan are the 4 words told by this girl. And Swami summarizes his message in that. And I want to share it before I end for this Mahasamadhi Aradhana day. And then when Dr. Sunam Gyamso, whom Ravi and all of you know, and he visited us 3 years ago, I shared with him this story. So he tuned this and he himself sang it. Unfortunately, unfortunately for me, fortunately for you, I don't have a good music voice, so I cannot sing it. But I will share that prayer which Swami composed, Swami sang, and the meaning of it. The bhajan is as follows. Deham, Naham, Koham, Soham. Those were the 4 words the girl picked up from the Sanskrit verse. Deham, Naham, Koham, Soham, Sai Brahmam, Sadguru Dhyanam, Sai Namam, Sada Smaranam, Sai Premam, Moksha Pradhanam, Sharanam, Sharanam, Sai Charanam. Deham, Naham, Koham, Soham. Deham, Naham, I am not the body. Koham, then who am I? Soham, I am God. Sai Brahmam Sadguru Dhyanam. So meditate on that Supreme Being's Sai, the Supreme Consciousness, who is the Sadguru. Sai Namam Sada Smaranam. Always chant the name of God without intermission. Sai Premam Moksha Pradhanam. See, love of Sai and love for Sai, people say it's a means to liberation. It itself is liberation. The love itself is liberation. Sharanam, Sharanam, Sai Charanam. Surrender, surrender at the lotus feet of Sai. Jai Sai. So we talked about the 4 boons that God has given us. Does anyone remember the 4 boons? Oh, you wrote it down, that's cheating. First is Manushyatvam, human birth. Second is Mumukshatvam, desire for liberation. Third is Mahapurusha Samsraya, that is the protective grace of Guru, in our case God Himself. And the fourth is Bhakta Jana Satsanga, the company, holy company of the devotees of the Lord. So I'll pick it up from there. What is Satsang? We use the word so many times, Satsang, Satsang. What is Satsang? In order to understand what is Satsang, we have to understand what is Sat and what is Sang. It is not sat and sang in the English translation, which is what we did. So what is the true meaning of Satsang? What is Sat? And I want to share with you what Swami taught me. Let's first start with Sang. Sang means group or mixture. Then we'll go to Sat. There are different types of mixtures. Suppose you chop coconut very fine to the size of a sugar crystal, and people offer that as prasadam. Little pieces of coconut and sugar crystal. That is one type of Sang. When you taste it, you can taste the coconut and you can taste the sugar also. But it is never real, because then once you can separate it also. That is not true Satsang. That is not true mixture. The second type of mixture is, if you put sugar in water or milk and you mix it, then you cannot see the sugar separately, but you can taste the sugar. So in Vedanta, in order to do Satsang, there are 3 steps. Actually, there are 4. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, and Moksha, the liberation. Shravanam means hearing. How to hear, we will talk about it a little later. Because hearing is not just the sound bite going into our ear. One ear it goes and goes out the other ear. That is not hearing. What does true Shravanam means? Hearing. Mananam. What is Mananam? Mananam is not just recapitulating, memorizing. There is some deeper significance what Swami wants to understand. And Nididhyasanam, which is Nitya Adhyasanam. Daily, moment to moment practice, that gives moksha. So if you want common parlance of English, what we call Shravanam or Satsang, information, that is entertainment. It's just entertainment, because if entertainment is outside, it has to inner attainment, it has to go inside. So entertainment, that is Shravanam. Mananam is endearment. The truths we hear, it resonates from within. See, we all know truly everything. It's hidden. But sometimes the satsang, the shravanam, is a mechanism to trigger the inner reaction. So mananam is, see, shravanam is listening to the words of the Guru outside. Mananam is listening to the words of Guru inside. That is antarvani, the inner voice, the inner. So that is, so this becomes, entertainment becomes endearment. Nididhyasana means empowerment. Because when we know the truth, we love the truth, and then if we live the truth, then we are empowered. And that leads to enlightenment. So each satsang has the power to go from entertainment to endearment to empowerment to enlightenment. Who is stopping it? We. Because we don't know how to properly listen. At least I don't know. I have no right to tell you. I don't know how to listen, to know the truth. I don't know how to make it as an endearment to love the truth, and I don't know how to live the truth. So if I don't live the truth, just knowing the truth and loving the truth is of, I won't say it's useless, it's of little value, because Krishna says, even if you, Arjuna says, Krishna, you have given me so many things. It's so difficult to control the mind. What if? Because now listening to you, I give up my worldly things and I try to practice spirituality. I fail there also. What will happen to me? At least I should have enjoyed this fully. Which is, don't worry, next birth you will stop where you left. So it is there. But if we want to know the truth, now itself we have to live the truth. So how to live the truth? Then what is truth? That is Sat. What is Sat? What does Swami say what is Sat? There are three aspects of Sat. Nijam, Rutam and Sathya. Worldly truth, intuitive truth, absolute truth. See, worldly truth is whatever. See, that's all nowadays everybody says. Truth has to be spoken. It's usually truth about others, not about ourselves. Which these are facts. We are only interested in facts. That connects with entertainment. And when we only focus outside entertainment, it will not give any peace in our heart. We will lose all peace. That's why Swami says, instead of peace, pieces. Pieces means multiple thoughts. And too many thoughts, pieces. One thought of God, peace. So, facts, nijam. Or what is nijam? Even that we cannot believe our senses. Because what you see, a mirage, that is not real water. It is just the refractive index makes the air looks like water. And many times what we see is not true. What you hear is not true. What you should analyze. We all know that. But we are so much interested in collecting facts. This is the information age, and all the IT technologies have contributed so much to that confusion. Swami didn't like 3 C's, cricket, cinema and computer. He always used to say, these C's, the 3 C's are going to destroy. And it's happening. And artificial intelligence is, everybody will become a robot, which we are already. Because, see, there was one person wanted a guru. He went to a guru, said, will you accept me as a disciple? He said, I don't generally accept disciples. Very rarely, gurus don't steal disciples from each other, true gurus. This is not a business. But some rare cases, when some Mahatma passes away, he will tell the disciple to guide to the other guru. So, if you have a guru, you have to be honest, tell me. Then I will consult with him. Even if the guru is not alive, I will intuitively contact him And if I feel that this is the right thing to do, I will accept you as your disciple. Do you have any guru? This man is a modern boy. He said, I had to be honest with you, so I have 4 gurus, he said. Oh really, you have 4 gurus? And he said, these gurus are so close to me, they guide me. So who are those gurus, 4 gurus? Then he says, one guru, even one guru guides me. As soon as I get up, this guru guides me what to do next. Without the guru's guidance, I don't know what to do. And then after I do that, when I go to work, I trust the second guru. This guru guides me from there. Even if I am at work or whatever I do, I have a third guru, which gives me lots of mental satisfaction. And then I have, for my work, I have another 4th guru. He helps me. So, what can I do? I have 4 gurus, but I don't have peace of mind. So, the guru asked, I'm surprised, how do you have 4 gurus? How do you have connection with them? How are they guiding you? Who is your first guru? He says, my first guru is YouTube Ananda. In the morning, as soon as I get up, the YouTube tells me what to watch, what I should do. Or something, Amazon tells where you should go and buy. We don't think at all. Everything this tells us what to do. And then when I go to work, I sit on my car and I surrender myself to Google Map Ananda. I don't even have to think. It will guide me where to go. It knows everything. It knows even all over the world. It knows the languages. It can speak like a man or a woman. Very powerful guru. Then at work, if I am depressed, I have my guru Facebook Ananda, or Twitter Ananda, Instagram. I don't know. I cannot keep track, and you people know. And then I have my 4th guru for my business, LinkedIn Ananda. All of them are Anandas, but I have no Ananda. So how can we find truth through those things? See, in Google Maps you can put from here, I have to go there. But can you put from Jivatma, how do I go to Paramatma? Will it give alternate roads depending on my tendencies? So we are confused. We are confusing ourselves. So, actually I was talking to somebody, what was your special name? You said that was an interesting name. Abradip, right? Abradip Mukherjee. After I talked to you, I remembered another guru story. I want to tell you. This happened in Rishikesh. So 3 boys came to your guru. He said, we want your advice. We have come to Rishikesh, we have given everything, we are not going to study, please guide us. Then he said, okay, I'll guide you. What is your name? He said, we are from Bengal. Okay. First boy said, my name is Chatterjee. Second boy said, my name is Banerjee. The third boy said, my name is Mukherjee. Then the guru said, that is my teaching. There are 3 steps in spiritual progress. From Chatterjee, you become Banerjee. From Banerjee, you become Mukherjee. Then the boy said, we don't understand what you're saying. He said, what do you do now? You're all the time chattering. So all of you are Chatterjees. So all your energy is being wasted. So where is the time to find the truth? So outward focus, you'll never find truth. You'll only find nijam, fact, which is changing. Fact is useful, very limited. So don't run after facts. And this, because of this weakness, so many people are exploiting. Especially young children are exploited tremendously. So, actually, somebody was telling, the Facebook founder has not read the Bhagavad Gita. Because if he really read the Bhagavad Gita, he would not have created Facebook, because Bhagavad Gita go beyond likes and dislikes. Facebook is based on likes and dislikes. Right? So, this Guru said, you're all Chatterjees. Because as soon as you hear about something, you're not interested in Shravanam. You heard about it, oh, this great speech, or this great book. It's even worse. Even before you read the book, you're ready to forward. That's a WhatsApp problem. You won't even read the whole thing. You're ready to send it to others. You want to share with everybody. Or even when you're listening, I wish he hears this. If he hears something, it is for us, not for anybody else. But we're thinking, he should hear this. I wish he was here. So, Chatterjee means, as soon as you hear something, you want to tell someone else. We never tell ourselves that I should change myself, I should become good. We never tell. Then we go one step further. Once you become a Chatterjee, then you become a member of an organized religion. You become a card-carrying member, you become a Banerjee. Then you want to convert everybody. I myself have not understood what it is. I never had time. I want to convert everybody into this faith. But then the Guru said, a stage will come that you will find out you have wasted your time. As a Chatterjee and Banerjee, then you become Apradip Mukherjee. Mukherjee means Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayam Green. That God has the power to make the dumb speak and the lame walk. So when you understand the truth, you will become quiet and deeply absorbed within yourself. The purpose of Satsang is not to be a Chatterjee, not to be a Banerjee, but to become a Mukherjee. So if anybody has any questions, please ask him after that. So, what is Sat? So it is not Nijam. So how we are living is not the, of course I started last time, so Swami said people don't know what to eat, how to breathe. You don't know how to breathe. As a child we knew how to do stomach breathing because of the umbilical cord connected to the mother. Because when you breathe, there is Purakam, Rechakam, Kumbhakam. That is, when you breathe, you should give enough time for the oxygen to enter deeply into the airway, in the lungs. And Kumbhakam, you have to hold it so that there is enough time for exchange to happen. And so oxygen has to come maximum, and oxygen has to exchange with blood. And of course there are doctors. Shaila is here, she's a doctor. So if I'm saying something wrong, correct me. So Rechakam, and then Rechakam means this carbon dioxide has to go out the proper way. But it has to be given a time interval, but we breathe unsteady. We don't know how to breathe in, we don't know how to breathe out, we don't know how to retain. A true yogi will practice equality in breathing and breathing out. Similarly, a true sadhaka will know how to absorb information. So that is Purakam. Kumbhakam is inspiration. And Rechakam is practicing and not doing things we are not supposed to do. Viveka and Vairagya. Viveka means the do's and Vairagya means the don'ts. 99.9% of sadhana is avoiding what not to do. Because the mind is jumping around all the time. We don't know how to be focused. We may have many degrees, MD, PhD. It means nothing if we don't have focus of the mind. We may know so many things. We may accomplish so many things. Our resume may be so long. Doesn't mean anything. First is, see now, traditionally the understanding is when wealth is lost, nothing is lost. When health is lost, something is lost. When character is lost, everything is lost. But now, when character is lost, nothing is lost. We have become such characters. I have become such a character. But other way is, when wealth is lost, nothing is lost actually, because we have the ability to earn the wealth. When health is lost, still okay, we can restore. But when character is lost, it's very difficult. That's where the truth, the satsang, is how we develop our immortality is the removal of immorality. Swami used to say, very, very important. Of course, I've learned so much from Swami, but did I really absorb and practice it? Something I need to ask myself. Like I was telling, heroes in speeches, zeros in action, like Swami used to say. So, coming back to, Nijam has limited value. Then, Rutam. Rutam means intuitive knowledge. See, it's not just what the senses does. Because even you cannot trust your mind because it plays games. It plays tricks. Because you see what you want to see. Same thing 10 people see, they give 10 different descriptions. Same news reporters go and watch, depending on the channel's political thing, they present it totally different and they look equally convincing. It's like the criminal cases when the prosecution lawyer and the defense lawyer, and you go back and forth. And of course, we are facing the problem in our own case. We have the case of a kidnapped soul. The ego has kidnapped the soul, we don't know. And the mind and ego on one side, conscience on the other side. This conscience is the defense lawyer, mind and ego is the prosecution lawyer. And we don't listen to our conscience, inner voice. So the conscience is the first aspect of Rutam, but that is not perfect. Because his conscience is the various lifetimes you have gone through. We have developed some wisdom. It's definitely the wisest thing God has given, which two things we don't listen is conscience and common sense. So, this conscience is starting with Ritam, but when we start appreciating our conscience, we should try to practice a little bit. I have not succeeded at all, but Swami says, try to listen to your conscience, because when you listen to your conscience, you develop willpower. You develop self-confidence. Every time we give into our mind something the conscience says don't do, when we do, we lose our willpower. We lose our peace. We lose our self-confidence. So this is a very, very delicate balance. So in satsang, that's very important. So this Rutam goes Rutam is the connection between Nijam and Satyam. Satyam is the absolute truth which never changes. So the Rutam can be at the level of facts and also it can be at the level of Satyam. The absolute truth is possible only when the ego is gone. And ego we are not able to fight because ego is not a real thing. Because it seems, Swami always used to give an example of marriage party. So the bridegroom party and the bride party. And then suddenly one stranger came and told the bridegroom party that you're not doing things right, they are not happy. So they tried to change. And then he went to the bride's party, you're not doing things. So he took a lot of advantage out of that. After some time he became impossible. So then the parents of the bride and parents of the bridegroom found out, who is this person? We thought he is your uncle. Then they said, we thought it's your uncle. He was nobody's uncle. He came from nowhere, he took control. And then when they started investigating, He ran away. So this ego is nobody's uncle. It came from nowhere, it is controlling us, and as Ramana Maharshi said, if you start inquiring who am I, the ego will disappear. It has no leg to stand on. So the Rutam will lead to Satyam, the absolute truth. So in fact, every interaction with the entire world is Satsang. Because people are teaching each other. Majority of us teach others what not to do. And we do a very good job. We can learn from that. A few may teach us what to do. But remember, the entire world it's a test bed for us. Every minute we interact with somebody, the conscience is pointing out. We can test for ourselves. Are we evolving? Are we the same? Because I want to know my spiritual progress. Swami will ask, are you getting angry? Are you troubled by lust? Are you getting greedy? Do you have jealousy? Do you get upset? Do you insult people? Do you respect anyone? What's the point in asking about your spiritual evolution? So satsang has to, satsang is not for entertainment. It has to have an impact in us. We should not be the same. After having seen Swami, we should not be the same. Because anybody who has seen Swami once, heard him speak once, is a potential Brahmavid, knower of Brahman. Because he has put the seed into that, to us. And it will sprout one day, definitely. If we are willing, it could happen sooner. That's all. So, in this case, we are talking about the Shravanam is listening. I want to share with you. Consider that as an acronym and explain. I'll stop with that. Okay? So Shravanam means listen. How is the word listen spelled? L-I-S-T-E-N. If we know how to listen properly, we will be the wisest persons on the earth. If you notice that, what is the first step in the Jnana Marga? Shravanam. What is the first step in Bhakti Marga? Shravanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Mandam. So, even in any worldly things, we have to learn to observe. In order to learn, we should know how to listen. Because nature is teacher. Now, life is teacher, nature is preacher. So much is coming. How do we convert that information into inspiration, into transformation? It's up to us. We should know how to listen. Even in worldly things, even in succeeding in school, in exams, we should know how to listen. So, what is the first word? L stands for love. If you love something you want to know about, automatically we will listen. How do people listen to music for so many times, but they cannot listen to lectures in class or philosophy? Because there is no love for that. As soon as there is love for, and you can watch cricket games for 6 hours, you cannot sit in meditation for 2 seconds. How is it possible? Where did this come from? So there is a love for that. So we should learn to, and that quality of love is a gift of God. The second step with I is intensity. We cannot be fragmented in our approach. We have to be very, very intense. If there's no focus, it's like a focused light of the sun rays. And somebody was asking, you said, what was your name? It was a unique name.
My name is Ilya.
Ilya, yes. And I love you all, right? Yes. Ilya was asking me, he was telling about something Swami said to me some time ago, that you should work twice as hard for what you get paid. Swami asked me how much I'm getting paid. And see, 2 questions Swami will ask. How much you are getting paid, how old you are. Nobody wants to answer that question. Yes. And Swami will purposely ask those questions. So then he asked, how much are you getting? And then I went and whispered into Swami's ear. Swami said, huh? I couldn't hear. So you have to say it loud. Swami said, no, I still cannot hear. Then I said it louder. And unfortunately, in the interview room, there was an editor from a famous magazine in Tamil Nadu, Kalki. And he has come for a special issue for Swami for a special message. He is writing everything down. So when I said the amount, Swami converted into Indian rupees. Then they said, why are they paying you so much? Are they foolish or what? Then he said, are you doing enough work for what they are paying you? Then Swami said, no. This debt to your parents, debt to nature, debt to your employers, you have to pay it back. You cannot be a beggar. Otherwise you will keep coming back. So whenever you work, you should work twice as hard. Then Ilya asked me, then do I mean to say I have to go to my work and be 16 hours? Because they will kick you out because they have to pay the electricity bill for 16 hours. What Swami means is, truly, are we even working 8 hours now, anywhere? Working from home, those days I used to joke, working from home means you check your email once in 5 minutes. Working at office means you check your email once in 1 hour. Because you're taking break, coffee break, this break, that break all the time. So, if we focus ourselves, that intensity is there, we can accomplish so much. In 1 hour you can accomplish what you're doing for it. So Swami says, give it all. And that he lived that example. Otherwise, is it possible for any human being to just think of Swami as an author? You know, he has 45 Satyasai speaks, 15 Vahinis. He has written so many letters. I calculated, put it all together, it comes to 15,000 printed pages of material of writing. And this was not even his main job. Then he materialized millions of objects. Either physically, I have myself witnessed thousands of materialization and in several houses all over the world. And then of course he has to visit the dreams of millions and millions and give interviews to hundreds of thousands of people, many people, hundreds of interviews, whether they appreciate it or not. How is it possible? Because of that one pointed focus. So if truly life itself is a satsang, love life, live life to the fullest extent. Be intense what you do. Do not, of course we know how to be intense. Hatred, we are very intense. Compassion, no intensity. Why is it? We should ask ourselves. So, yes, silence. When we are learning anything, we should have silence of the mind and silence of the body. We cannot be moving around and turning here and there. Mind should not waver. Otherwise, because the problem is mind has one quality, which is his strength and weakness. It can only focus on one thing at a time. We all have experience. When somebody is talking to you, you are thinking something, you won't even... Usually husbands, when wife talk, they think of something else. Am I right? Or I don't know if they have the capacity to think, that's a different problem. So, the mind can only focus on one thing at a time, so we have to focus it well. Because if you're reading a book, you don't even know what you ate. Or if you're driving a car, so Swami will say, when you drive the car, become the car. When you sing the bhajan, become the bhajan. When you prepare sambar, become the sambar. That point of one-pointedness, if he's there, then this exchange, because it's an entire love affair between ourselves and creation is God. So this is silence. So love, intensity, silence, and what is all for? Truth. And what is the truth? Satyam, not Nijam. At least go towards Rutam. And next one is equanimity. This is very important. When we hear satsang, we will hear concepts. We will hear truths. We will hear teachings which we won't like because we may not be practicing them. So we will develop a reaction. Satsang should churn us. See, if satsang doesn't churn us, it is only entertainment. If satsang has to empower us, we should not be the same person before the satsang happened. After the satsang, that moment onwards, we should be a different person. If it doesn't do it, that is not satsang, it is only entertainment. It will not lead to empowerment. So as a listener, I had to have equanimity. I should have the patience. Yes, Swami is telling these things, so I should think about it. Maybe there is a way I can change myself. And then comes to neutrality. We should not worry about the messenger. Message is more important. We focus so much on the messenger. If we don't like the messenger, like throwing the baby with the water, we'll throw the message also. So this is how we should interact with each other. This is how we should show the respect to everybody. This is how we share our love with everybody. Then only we'll be able to offer our gratitude for the 4 boons I was telling. I'll just stop with that, Sarah.